Hello students, I am Mohan Kumari. Welcome back to MK classes for biology. Today, before going to start with the class, I would like to request you all that those who are watching my video, please like, share and don't forget to subscribe. Yes, today we are going to study about female reproductive system of human. Here we go with the human female reproductive system. So let us see the diagrammatic view of human female reproductive system, which is given in the NCERT textbook. And it is one of the important diagrams in the PU2 syllabus, and it can be asked in 5 marks questions. Let us study the human female reproductive system parts. First of all, it is located in the pelvis region of the body and consists of primary sex organs that includes ovaries, secondary sex organs classified as accessory ducts made up of pair of oviduct or fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix and vagina. Accessory glands consist of mammary glands and the external genitalia that is called as vulva. So let us study these structures in detail now. First we'll go with the primary sex organ. You can see that consists of a pair of ovary. So you can see ovaries, which are said to be the primary sex organs that produce the female gametes, that is eggs or ova, and several steroid hormones called ovarian hormones. So ovaries, which are located on each side of the lower abdomen and remain attached to the pelvic wall and uterus by the ovarian ligaments. So you can see the sectional view of the ovary, which is of almond-like flattened body, measures about 2 to 4 centimeters in length, and ovary is covered by a thin epithelium. It's covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. The stroma is divided into two zones, a peripheral zone called cortex and the inner zone is the medulla. Let us move on to the accessory ducts. Consist of oviduct, adva in plural oviducts. So these are two small tubes about 10 to 12 centimeters in length, lying on either side of the uterus near the kidney. See, you can see here is the uterus, and these fallopian tubes are oviducts which are present lying on either side of the uterus nearer to the kidney. So the opening of the fallopian tube is expanded region. You can see here is the opening of the fallopian tube which is extended into funnel shaped infundibulum. This region is called as the expanded region of the fallopian tube, which is called as the infundibulum. So you can see here is the infundibulum. The ends of the infundibulum, you can see these ends of the infundibulum has finger-like projections called fimbrae. You can see here is the fimbrae. These which will move closer to the ovary at ovulation to collect the ovum. So during ovulation, these fimbrae move towards the ovary to collect the egg from the ovary. Infundibulum leads to the wider part of the oviduct, which is called as the ampulla. Here is the ampulla. So ampulla, which is connected to the narrow part of the oviduct, that is called as the isthmus. So isthmus is the last part of the oviduct having a narrow lumen, and this isthmus which joins the uterus. Here is the isthmus which will join the uterus. Next we'll move on to the uterus or the womb. Whole thing what you can see is the uterus. It is a single, of course hollow, muscular pear-shaped structure supported by ligaments and attached to the pelvic wall. So it is present between the urinary bladder and the rectum. The wall of the uterus has 3 layers. The outer layer is called as the perimetrium, which is thin layer, and the middle layer is called as the myometrium, which is thick layer of smooth muscle fibers which contract strongly during parturition or the delivery. Here is the myometrium. And the inner layer called as the endometrium. Here is the endometrium. So it contains glands and many blood vessels, and it undergoes cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle. Yes, this endometrium layer which undergo cyclical changes during the menstrual cycle, and it plays very important role in the process of implantation. So the lower part of the uterus, which is a very narrow region, this is the lower region called as the cervix, and there is a cavity in the cervix called as the cervical canal, which forms the birth canal along with the vagina. You can see here is the cervix, lower region or lower part of the uterus, narrow region. There is a cavity inside it called cervical canal, which forms a birth canal along with the vagina. Here is the vagina. Let us move on to the accessory glands. Consist of mammary glands. We'll see the structure of mammary gland now. Here is the diagrammatic structure of mammary gland, which contains a glandular and fatty tissue. You can see the fatty tissue here and the glandular tissue here. Each glandular tissue is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Glandular tissue divided into mammary lobes. So each lobe consists of the group of alveoli. You can see mammary lobe, and each lobe consists of group of alveoli, and the alveoli opens into the mammary tubules. These alveoli opens into the mammary tubules. Mammary tubules of each lobe opens into the small mammary duct. You can see here is the mammary duct, small mammary duct. So several mammary ducts join to form a wider mammary ampulla. Several mammary ducts joins the mammary ampulla. So that mammary ampulla which is connected to lactiferous duct, you can see here is the lactiferous duct, which is there just before the nipple. Here is the nipple which is there just before the nipple, through which milk is released. So this is about the structure of mammary gland. We'll study about the external genitalia. It's called as the vulva. Let us see the parts of this vulva. Vulva consists of several parts, in that the mons pubis, you can see here is the mons pubis, this region, which is a cushion of fatty tissue covered with the skin and pubic hair. And the next part is the labia majora. You can see here is the labia majora. It is a 2 folds of fatty tissue which extend down from mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening. And the other part of the vulva is the labia minora. You can see here is the labia minora, which is situated inside the labia majora, which encloses the vestibule, here this region is called as the vestibule. This encloses the vestibule, This vestibule consists of a tiny urethral opening and the large opening of the vagina. The next region is the clitoris. You can see here is the clitoris. It is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of two labia minora. Here is the labia minora. At this upper junction you can see this is the clitoris, tiny finger-like structure which is situated just above the, here is the urethral opening which is situated just above the urethral opening. And the next part is the hymen. Here is the hymen. So here it is a thin mucous membrane that covers the vaginal opening either partly or entirely. The hymen often breaks during first intercourse or during sports like horse riding, cycling or sudden fall. So this is about the different regions of the vulva or the external genitalia of the human female. So to this have completed female reproductive system. Thank you.